Hello, welcome to TisTalk.
Welcome to TisTalk. This is a community podcast from Tisbury, Wiltshire and surrounding villages. I'm Mary Myers.
And I'm Anne Martin.
It's the week beginning Monday the 1st of December. Hi Anne, thanks very much for coming on TisTalk again. It's great to have you back as a co-host.
Yeah, it's lovely to be here, Mary.
Now, we normally ask co-hosts for one piece of local news and one piece of international news that have piqued their interest this week. I'm just going to ask you about international because I know you've got something to say about that. And then I'll say something about local.
Yes, so. Good. Well, as a lot of people in Tisbury know, I've just come back from Japan. And I wanted to talk about a piece of news connected to Japan where they now have a Japanese Prime Minister who is a woman for the first time, called Sanae Takaichi. And when I was in Japan, I thought, gosh, this is interesting, and talked to women about it, about their feelings about having a woman Prime Minister. But actually, women in Japan say, well, maybe she's not so pro-women. She's very militaristic. And she's very sort of strong. So I guess she's a bit like a sort of Margaret Thatcher type of Prime Minister, and not necessarily so pro-women's rights. Right. Which is kind of quite interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I know one big thing about Japan. I don't know much about Japan, but one of the things I've noticed recently in the news is their big problem of underpopulation.
Yes.
That they basically have this negative birth rate.
Yes.
So do you think as a woman she'll be promoting women's kind of, trying to get more women to have babies?
Yes, it is a big problem in Japan. About 30% of their population are over 65.
Yes. And I read this incredible thing, which is there are more nappies for adults produced for older people than there are for babies.
That's probably true. I think in the UK we have about 20% of our population over 65, and there are places in Japan where people live to over 90, and I'm reading a book about it actually at the moment, about their lifestyle. And one of the things that they say about their lifestyle is that A, they have fantastic food, which we do in Tisbury, and B, a sense of community is something that really makes you live longer. And I think that's what we have in Tisbury as well. That's true. So, yes, it is a big problem. And I think they also want to encourage immigration. But it's difficult because they have a very strong culture, a difficult language to learn, and very strong sort of cultural norms in Japan. So it's hard for them to encourage immigration. Right. So they have some of the opposite problems to us, if you like.
Right. Interesting. Yeah. Well, from far away back down to earth, I wanted to tell you about Wiltshire Connect, which is this new bus service.
Yes, I've heard about it. Yes.
Yeah, well, I tried it out yesterday.
Oh, great.
With Richard Burt, who's a blind man who lives in Anstey. And we went with him and his lovely dog Dilly. He's been on TisTalk before. And we thought we'd just give it a go. So we took the ordinary bus to Shaftesbury, and then we went on the app to get back again from Shaftesbury back to Anstey, where he lives. And it was great. It was so efficient. So it's a network of, I think they have about 6 or 7 green minibuses. You have to actually book in advance. I shouldn't say that we booked it when we got there. We had to book it, I don't know how much in advance. But anyway, I'm going to do a whole report about that. God. And it was only... Well, it was free for Richard because he's got a bus pass, and it actually only cost me £3.
That's incredible.
From Shaftesbury back to Warder, back to my door. Gosh. From the town hall back to my door.
Fantastic.
Anyway, let's get on with the show. On today's show, we'll be hearing from the Brownies and Girl Guides of Tisbury. We're also interviewing the head of Wiltshire Council, Ian Thorn. And then we're going back to the festive fun of 'Tis the Season, discovering a special local tree, that's yours, Anne, dipping into our legal corner with Martin Thomas and catching up with what's happening around the village with our What's Ons. First up, we have you, Anne. And of course, you visited the Brownies and Girl Guides of Tisbury recently, and you found out all about what they most enjoy about being Brownies and Guides.
I'm Anne Martin, and I'm in Tisbury Methodist Church tonight with 3 girl guides. I'm with Gracie, Grace and Juno. And we're going to talk a bit about what they enjoy about guiding and what they're up to in the Methodist Church. And finally, we're going to have a special song from the guides. So, Gracie, what do you like about the guides?
Well, I would just say, like, how we work as a team and, like, you know, just how we're all friends and, yeah.
Great, having
how we
fun.
have responsibilities. And,
Oh, right. What sort of responsibilities do you have?
We have, like, so sometimes we do the washing up when we have our biscuit and drink, when we have, like, our snack to keep us going through the evening. So
Great.
yeah, that's we just sometimes help out with the brownies and stuff.
Thank you. And over to you, Grace. What do you like?
I think I like all of it. I like how we can engage with other people that we don't really know and maybe even become friends with them. Also, with all these chores, it becomes very good for us. So then we learn what to do when we're older.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Juno.
I like how we're a community and that we all like working together.
That's great. And you 3 didn't know each other before you came to Guides, did you? So you've made good friends, which is really nice. And I'm looking at your uniform here, and it's not at all like the uniform I used to wear as a guide. It's quite different. So tell us something about your uniform.
Well, it's very comfortable.
Yeah,
and our hoodie is more like a jacket because on the outside it's quite. It's not really soft, and we have like a pinafore underneath, which has like a rainbow colour sort of zip, and then like it says guides on it, and yeah.
And I noticed you've got a badge there. What's your badge?
It's our promise badge because we all make these promises so that we have the Girl Guide promise where we promise to be like a good guide and be a good friend to others. We take responsibilities.
The Tisbury fire station.
Oh, what did you do at the fire station?
So we looked around at all the fire engines
and we got to ride in.
Yeah, we got to ride in them.
Did you?
And we got to
shoot loads of water.
We made like our promises near the end, and like we had a photo with family. Like,
and they had
there
that
was, like massive
spray.
water jets that were behind you, and then you had a photo with your family.
You've got an event coming up soon, haven't you? Do you want to tell us about that?
So we have, we're going to be like having a like Christmas fair to raise money for our Guiding Brownies and Rainbows unit.
Oh, great. And what can we expect to buy at your fair then?
Well,
bracelets.
Bracelets?
Yeah, we have bracelets, hammer beads, that are made into Christmas decorations.
Like wooden Christmas tree decorations.
Oh, that sounds really good. So to finish off, you've got a song, haven't you? Would you like to sing your song for us?
So we have an ending song called Taps, where it's like Day's Done. And we also have a starting song called Can a Girl Guide, and we like to sing the first song.
Good, great.
Can a girl guide make you friends? Yes, she can. We can. Can a girl guide lend a hand? Yes, she can. We can. Can a girl guide be a leader, guiding all who look and see her? Can a girl guide be a leader? Yes, she can. We can.
Brilliant, thank you. I'm now with 2 brownies. I'm with Elsa and Thea, and they're going to talk to me about what they like about brownies. So, Elsa, what age can you be a brownie then?
7.
7, okay. And you've been a brownie for a year, I think?
A little bit more than a year.
Okay. And what do you like about the brownies?
I like brownies because, like, it's not like school, and also the leaders, they volunteer. They don't just come here so they can be paid. Like, they come here because they want to mix with other children and help them. And yeah, I just think it's really nice because you can't really get to argue, like, they sort everything out there. They're not really like teachers that like are in control of you. Like they'll just sort everything out nicely. Like they won't shout at you or like try to make you do something.
Oh, so it's very different to school then.
Yeah, like you want to come here. You're not forced to.
That's good. Sophia, you've been a brownie in another pack before, haven't you?
I was in the brownie pack for 2 to 3ish years, and I had done a lot of things with them, and I've only been here for about one term.
One term, so you're new to these brownies, but you've got loads of badges on your jacket, haven't you? So tell us a bit about some of the badges that you really liked doing.
So some of the badges I did on like one of those days where you just go out with brownies, and one of them was called the Wild West Adventurer, and you went to this place and you did loads of activities, and then at the end you got a badge. And some of my badges, they're not even on here, but I have earned my bronze and silver award.
Oh, great. You've got one here called Operation Curlew, Girl Guide in Cumbria South. What's that about?
Oh yeah, so at my old brownies, curlews were very, very special to them because we never usually saw them. So we did this thing that we had to get 3 badges for to work Operation Curlew to try and get like more nesting areas. I think it worked, but I can't remember all of that.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great. And Elsie, you went on a trip to the fire station, didn't you? Tell us about that.
So I went to the fire station just before Thea came here, and I thought it was really nice because Marley's one of the guides. She wasn't with you, but Marley was one of them, and her dad works there.
And what are you doing tonight? I can see lots of brownies at tables, very engaged in things. What are you doing tonight?
On the 10th and the 11th of December, we are doing a Christmas fair.
Oh, the guides told us about that, yes.
So we're making hammer beads, bracelets, and pom-poms, and we're making posters so that people know and they can just come in and buy stuff.
Oh, right.
And there will be mince pie and gifts.
Grant us 5 peace and bless us all. Good night, brown owl. Good night, little owl. Good night, barn owl. Good night, owlet. Good night, rainbow owl. Good night, brownies. Good night, guys.
And here's some more information about the Rainbows, Brownies and Guides in case someone is interested in joining. Rainbows are girls aged 4 to 7 years, and they meet on Wednesdays in the Methodist Hall from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. Brownies are aged 7 to 10 years, and Guides are aged 10 to 14 years. They meet in the Methodist Hall on Thursdays from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. The subscription is £20 per half term. There are currently 10 rainbows, 14 brownies and 7 guides. There are space for girls if parents are interested, so go along to the Methodist Church Hall at the times of the meetings and find out what's going on. You'd be very welcome. The Rainbows, Brownies and Guides are also having a Christmas sale on Wednesday the 10th of December in the Methodist Hall from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. and on Thursday the 11th of December from 5 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. They will be selling things that they have made during their meetings, which may be useful for Christmas tree decorations or for small presents. So go along and see what you can find.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Anne. Lovely to hear those young voices. And perhaps those were our future leaders we've just listened to. So from our future leaders, we now go to the actual leader of Wiltshire Council. I was lucky enough to catch up with Ian Thorn, who visited Tisbury on Thursday, 27th of November. I'm with Ian Thorn here, who's visiting Tisbury tonight. Thanks for coming on TisTalk.
You're very welcome. Always very happy to be in Tisbury. I remember during one of the recent by-elections knocking on somebody's door in the village and being invited in and seeing the most amazing fossils that were, as it were, built into the cottage that this gentleman lived in.
Oh, yes.
And I'm sure there are many cottages like that. And so I've always had a very warm welcome in Tisbury. I think Tisbury folk are very community focused, very enthusiastic about Tisbury, and quite rightly so. I think there's a very nice deli in the village. I think there's a very nice wine shop.
Yes.
So what's not to like about Tisbury?
Absolutely. So I wanted to ask you about the budget consultations that you've been having all around Wiltshire. And you did come to Tisbury.
Indeed.
What were your takeaways for the wider consultation, and specifically Tisbury, about everybody's priorities for how Wiltshire should spend its budget?
Well, our objective was to talk to as many residents as possible. We also spoke to quite a large number of Wiltshire Council staff. But our focus on the residents was just set out, to some extent, the challenges that we face in terms of the choices around funding. It's a tough world out there for many of us, in business and in government, and that's certainly the case at Wiltshire Council. We're fearful that the government's fair funding policies will mean we will lose money, so not particularly fair to Wiltshire. We had the previous administration left us with an overspend of just under £5 million, which we have to address. And there are ongoing and significant pressures in terms of delivering services and finding the resources to do so. So we spoke to lots of residents across the county, including in Tisbury. And I don't suppose it was a huge surprise that people chose the people services. So children, education, adults. We have an ageing population. We have people that move to Wiltshire to retire. So that's a particular challenge for us. Supporting young people with special educational needs is also very important. So certainly the focus from many residents were on those types of services that we provide. Right. I think the views of Tisbury residents were fairly similar, to be honest with you.
Okay. What about potholes? Didn't that come up?
Well, certainly traffic and highways is always a big issue. And there's no doubt, knocking on doors during the elections in May, that the number one issue was potholes.
Right. Not just around here, but wider?
Oh, no. So potholes across the county.
Okay.
And I think if you look at national opinion polls of local issues, potholes, again, is number one. The second big issue was development and speculative development. And then the third issue, again, from my experience, was the lack of infrastructure to support development, and particularly the lack of health infrastructure.
Okay. Can I just ask you very quickly to say one thing that you've achieved since May? I know you've only been elected since May, so, it's not that. And perhaps one thing that you hope to achieve by the end of your tenure.
Well, what have we achieved so far? Several things, but I think I'm particularly pleased that we achieved the reintroduction of free parking for blue badge holders. We thought that was very, very important. An awful lot of blue badge holders don't drive, so it's not about who's driving the car, it's about accessibility and giving people who are in many ways hugely affected by their disability just a little bit of support. What do I want to achieve over the long term? Well, I have to say it's financial stability for the council.
Right.
I can't really overstate the importance of ensuring that we are stable, which allows us to do the things that are really, really, really important. But in overall terms, what I want us to achieve, I want us just to have done a bit more for the people that need us, people that need that extra bit of support, that extra bit of help. And if I can fill in a few more potholes, I'll try and do that as well.
Okay. And then, if I can just add one last one, what would you like to achieve for Tisbury?
Oh, in Tisbury, well, that's a very good question. I mean, I think some of the potholes have been addressed,
Yes.
but there are always potholes, so I think that's particularly important. I want to see more affordable homes across the whole of the county, but particularly in rural areas and in villages like Tisbury. I think that's really important. And I want to ensure that rural areas, including the Donheads, including Tisbury, get their fair share of access to services. That's important too.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
You're listening to TisTalk from Tisbury in Wiltshire and the Nadder Valley.
And now on to Festive Village Bustle. Here's our report from 'Tis the Season with some of the music you might have heard on the day. And yes, we even managed to catch up with Santa himself. I'm Anne Martin and I'm down in the Hinton Hall and I'm talking to Santa in his grotto. Hello, Santa.
Hello everybody. All the children out there, are you ready for Christmas? Have you written your letters?
Have you had many children coming, Santa?
Yes, we've had a good flow today and the presents have been going really well. So we've got age-specific presents and the children have loved them, so it's been very good.
And have you had anyone helping you today, Santa?
Yes, we've had two wonderful elves. We've had Evie and Harriet, and they've been the best, absolutely superb. But unfortunately, they've had to go because they've got things to do. They've got parties to go to and parents to go shopping with. So we've lost the elves.
And you've got some helpers in Santa hats out there. What are they doing?
These young ladies and gentlemen, I think they're from Seeds for Success, and they've been fantastic, looking after the flow of children in and out and making sure they get a little sticker, I understand.
Oh, that's fantastic. And so where are you off to now? Are you back to Lapland or?
Back to Lapland as soon as I've finished here, and then hopefully when it's dark I'll be home.
Oh, right. And then you'll be ready for the big Christmas day, will you? Coming down the chimney.
Exactly. Well, I've got a lot of letters to read, obviously, in between that time, myself and Mrs. Claus. So we've got a lot of letters, and we've got to get the reindeer ready. They've got to have a good rest, and we'll put them through their paces later, so that'll be fine. And a happy Christmas to all on the end of TisTalk.
Thank you.
So I'm with Sam.
Sam Nichols.
Great. And we're here at the Victoria Hall, and it's 'Tis the Season. And what have you been doing today, Sam?
Basically just shopping and
Looking at the stores?
yeah,
Yeah?
basically.
And did you see Santa?
Yes, I did, because my sister was an elf
Oh, great.
in Santa's hut.
Good. And did you get a present from Santa?
I did, but I don't know where I've put it.
Oh, okay. Are you looking forward to Christmas?
Yes, definitely.
What do you do at Christmas?
In the morning, my family just sit around the conservatory sofa and we just take our stockings off the wall and open all of them for like an hour. And then we eat lunch and go to my grand to eat Christmas dinner, and then we come back home and open some of the presents underneath the Christmas tree.
Yeah. Great.
And then just play with all the stuff that we've got.
Where does your gran live? In Tisbury as well?
Yes, she lives in Tisbury.
Okay. And what do you normally have for Christmas dinner?
Just like potatoes, stuffing, pigs in blankets.
Oh, yeah.
most people have turkey. I have escalope because I can't eat meat. And just a bunch of other of those sorts of like things to get at Christmas.
Great, sounds nice. And what about New Year? Are you looking forward to 2026?
Yes, we usually have these massive parties on just like 31st of December all the way to the 1st of January.
Do you? Even bigger than Christmas?
Yes, because we invite all of like our friends, family, everyone to come and like.
Fantastic.
Just do it.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
You're listening to TisTalk from Tisbury, Wiltshire.
Now, after all that buzz, we're going to slow things down a bit. Anne is going to introduce us to one of her favourite local trees, which is actually in her garden.
Hello, it's Aunt Martin. I'm talking today about my favourite tree, which is a cherry tree in our garden. As you can see from the picture, it's looking rather shed of its leaves, but I think it still looks beautiful with the autumn leaves. And when spring comes, it just bursts into leaf and the blossom is absolutely wonderful. And part of the reason why I love the tree is because it's bringing in the spring, and it also reminds me of all those beautiful gardens in China and Japan where spring blossom is very much revered as the bringer of new life.
This is TisTalk from Tisbury, Wiltshire.
Coming up after this is our What's On listings, but first it's time for our legal corner. Local solicitor Martin Thomas is back to talk about the pitfalls of selling your house.
Here's another one, Martin. Here's another question. It's to do with solicitors' delays. So, for example, if I'm trying to sell my house and I've got a willing buyer, it all seems to be going through, but both myself and the buyer is in a chain, and the buyer, their solicitor, is being really, really slow, such that the whole thing falls through because somewhere down the chain someone just gives up and just goes, I'm not selling my house, I'm giving up the whole thing. So everything falls to the ground. Do I still have to pay my solicitor and then get another solicitor, or maybe the same one, start again with a new buyer and a new process?
So what's awful about your question is that does happen.
Right.
That does happen. Chains fall apart.
Yeah.
Conveyancing is incredibly stressful.
Right.
The act of buying or selling a house really does cause a lot of tension. The reason it's stressful is because you don't have a right to achieve what you're trying to achieve. You're making a deal. So in the example you've just said, you've got a willing buyer and they've got a solicitor, and their solicitor is saying things to you like, when you leave, are you leaving behind the fridge or the fridge and the freezer?
Yeah, really annoying things.
Okay, so normally for that you just give a factual answer.
Ages.
But there's some other things which happen a lot, which matter a bit and are quite complicated. Is that thing in the garden of the house you're selling a septic tank or a Clargester? And when was it last serviced? And you go, well, we only bought the house 3 years ago. We've been living in London for that whole time. We don't know, and so we're not telling you. Then they go to their client, your willing buyer, and say, the problem is you're buying a house with a sump in the garden, and we don't know its exact legal nature, and you might have an environmental liability problem, and if I were you, I wouldn't buy it. And then the buyer thinks, get an answer. So the solicitor comes back and says, no, we want an answer. Exactly what is it? And all of this takes forever and involves lots of costs and money. But the point I'm making to you with that made-up example is the willing buyer was willing when you accepted their offer, but they're not a buyer till they actually buy it, and they have to get to that point. So the delays happen. If it is your solicitor's fault, or if it isn't your own solicitor's fault, the chain does fall apart from time to time. It's awful for everybody. Now, your question was, do you still have to pay your solicitor? And there's no law about that. That depends on the deal you made with them. So you won't find a solicitor anywhere who'd sign you up as a client so that they can sell your house or buy your house without terms of business and a letter explaining what they will and won't do. And somewhere, buried in clause 422, there'll be a thing which says, or something like, if we do a ton of work for you, but you don't actually sell your house, you still have to pay us. Or it'll say, you have to pay us half of what you'd otherwise pay us, or something.
Right.
So it'll be provided for in the deal you made with your solicitor.
Right.
Of course, the problem there is everybody has to sign these things with their solicitors. No one reads them. They're just the standard terms of business. They're enforceable against you, but no one actually reads them. So you don't really know what the position would be. And the second problem is you feel quite narked at having to pay your solicitor because you kind of feel that it's their fault. And it's very, very hard to work out if it is their fault or not, because you've got one solicitor somewhere else saying, I need an answer about the septic tank. Then you've got your own solicitor saying, I can't be bothered to give you an answer. And who's at fault? It's just a situation where it's not going the way you want. So the final problematic aspect of it is that I'm going to give a soapbox lecture now. You'll tell by the way I say this that this is a point of great passion for any solicitor. The law about how you own houses in this country is very complicated, and everybody has an urge as a sort of consumer that when they buy a house or sell a house, they just want to sign something, get the money and move on with their life, like buying a watch in a swatch in a shop. It doesn't work that way. It's complicated, and because everybody wants it to be slick as chips, there's lots of law firms who are very, very good at making it slick as quickly, as much as they can, by quasi-automating the process. Fill in this box, fill in that box, and it feels like a slicker experience than in some other law firms. Old-style law firms like mine, we treat you as more of a human than those other law firms, but it's very hard to not charge you more as a result, because it takes more work from our point of view. So the point I'm making is that market of lawyers' activity, we call it conveyancing, is a very competitive market. And if you want to find a lawyer, don't have one already, to act for you when you sell your house, you'll shop around based on price. That's what people do. They shop around based on price. And although you won't believe it, and people who hear me saying this will roll their eyes and thinking, well, he would say that is, certainly at the bottom end of the range, it's extremely hard to make a living when you charge such low prices. One consequence is when you charge a price and the deal goes wrong, almost certainly your terms of business with your client will say, if the deal goes wrong, you have to pay me anyway, because you can't really run a business any other way, because you're at risk if the deal goes wrong, if it's not your fault. And of course the consequence is you kind of win out, get paid anyway, even if it is your fault.
So the message there is...
There's two messages there.
Yeah.
The first message is, conveyancing is a nightmare. Brace yourself.
Okay.
That's the first message.
As a client, as
a
well
client,
as the...
As a client, it won't be as slick as you want.
Yeah.
However slick you want it, it will not be that slick. That's the first message.
Okay.
And the second message is, it sometimes goes wrong. And yes, Mary, normally you will still have to pay your lawyers.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Follow us on Instagram at TisTalk Radio.
Thanks to Martin Thomas for that clear and helpful advice.
And now here are the What's On listings with Louis Davison.
Here's what's on in Tisbury and surrounding villages from Monday the 1st to Sunday the 7th of December. On Tuesday the 2nd, at 7 p.m, Tisbury Parish Council will meet in the reading room as usual on the High Street. all are welcome to observe. At 7:30pm at the Victoria Hall, there will be a film version showing of last summer's production of The Taming of the Shrew at the Commandery in Anstey. All welcome, admission free. On Wednesday the 3rd, at 9:30am, the TisBus outing will depart for the Salisbury Christmas Tree Festival with lunch at Wilton Garden Centre. Call coordinator Dave Mylas on 07 500 802 525. At 10am until 12 noon, the pop-up cafe will take place at the Hinton Hall, organised by the Memory Group. And at 11:30 to 1:30pm, the community cafe lunch will take place at the Methodist Church. On Thursday the 4th, at 7pm, the West Tisbury Parish Council meeting will take place in the Hinton Hall. Again, all are welcome to observe. Then, on Friday the 5th, at 2 to 4pm, there's a daytime disco at the Victoria Hall, organised by Wiltshire Age UK for everyone aged 55 or over. It's a fun, free and relaxed afternoon of music and socialising with a lively mix of music from the 50s, 60s, 70s and 80s. Free refreshments and licensed bar available. Also on Friday the 5th at 7pm, a comedy called Agatha Appleton and the Peril of the Pyramids with theatre company Rain or Shine will be on stage at the Victoria Hall. Tickets cost between £8.67 and £16.26 from newvictisbury.com or ring 0330 660 0541 to book. On Saturday the 6th, the Country Market will be back at the Victoria Hall from 10am to 12 noon. And at 7:30pm, the 5th Step will be showing at the Victoria Hall as part of the National Theatre Live series. Again, go to newvictisbury.com for details and tickets. On Sunday the 7th, from 10:45 to 1pm, the Oysters Coppers volunteer work session will take place. But that's it from me. Have a great week.
That brings us almost to the end of another episode of TisTalk. Thank you so much to everyone who contributed this week, the Brownies and Guides, all those involved with Tis the Season, Ian Thorn, Martin Thomas and Louis Davidson.
And since it's the 1st of December and we're in a festive mood and we're getting there, here's a bit of Prokofiev, Lieutenant Kijé, and listen to those sleigh bells.